I'm sure it's been a long day of learning, and maybe the last thing you want to do is learn more, but I'm encouraged by the fact that so many people have shown up because it shows to me just how much education means to all y'all too. And bear with me, given that there is a PowerPoint now, because I am a teacher, and I love teaching very much. I did witness what transpired on March 4th, and the day after the events, I put together a chronology that I then distributed to a number of people because I kept hearing from individuals, well, what happened? What happened? And, and the media is saying all this stuff, and so, rather than keep answering every single individual who asked me, I put it together, because again, what can I say, I'm a teacher. And what I wanted to do was to, I openly said, well, this is my firsthand account of what happened, and here is the video footage that we have, and I encourage y'all now to be able to put it into context and formulate informed opinions about what you are seeing in the video coverage as well. And tonight we are going to see a little bit of video footage, and there is also quite a bit of video footage up on YouTube, which I encourage y'all to access as well. Alright, so for starters, I would like for us to review at this point what our Chancellor, how he has responded to what has occurred. Now on March 5th, and note too, as we all know, Chancellor Santiago was not present for any of these events on March 4th. Now, for starters, in the email that he sent out to all of us, that you all received as well on March 5th, he says, our university respects free speech and encourages all members of our campus community to voice their opinions. It is in the spirit of open exchange of ideas and opinions that make UWM a great place for constructive dialogue to occur and higher education to take place. UWM, however, has no tolerance when speech is replaced with violence. And violence does appear more than once in this message that he sent out as well. That is what happened yesterday on our campus when several individuals, some who are our students and others who are not, punched and kicked and threw ice chunks and snowballs at UWM police officers who were engaged in their duty of safeguarding university people and property. One UWM officer suffered a leg injury during the demonstration, and I explained in my chronology when to the best of my knowledge, this police officer injured himself. All right, continuing with his email, he also said, as a result of yesterday's violence, 15 individuals, 13 students, and 2 non-students, but it's also important to stress that one of these non-students is actually a UWM alum, were arrested for violations of the law. Laws violated include unlawful assembly, disorderly conduct, and throwing hard objects. For these individuals who demonstrated no respect for our campus community, we will pursue legal action, and for the students, we will review whether any university rules were violated that require additional action according to Chapter UWS 17, Student Non-Academic Disciplinary Procedures, and Chapter UWS 18, Conduct on University Lands. Now, if you read through Chapter UWS 17, Student Non-Academic Disciplinary Procedures, and these are accessible to everyone in case you would like to look these up and again formulate your own opinions about what's transpiring, you can look them up here. Now, given the, as you read through these, you'll see that the disciplinary sanctions that can be imposed range from a written reprimand all the way to expulsion from the university. Now, given the potentially severe disciplinary sanctions, those arrested and or issued citations at this point are encouraged to consult legal representation and also to be wary of what you say because it can become incriminating evidence. And we are very concerned about the possible repercussions of these events and what can happen to students because, again, we care very much about the students and the fact that these were some of the very best students that we had here at UWM as well. If you seek legal representation, and if you do in fact seek legal representation, Emilio De Torre with ACLU. Emilio, can you please raise your hand? And we encourage you all to speak with him touch with Emilio, as again, we try to rally around and help out our students and two non-students, one of whom is an alum, as we try to help them and in the face of these very harsh charges that can potentially occur. All right, now the laws violated appear in Chapter 18. So hope everybody's taking notes in case you want to look these up. All right, so in Chapter 18, it is UWS 18, Conduct on University Lands. And you can find, and again, these are in the order of what Chancellor Santiago spelled out in his email about the charges, or the laws that have been violated. First one is unlawful assembly. The second one is disorderly conduct. And the third is throwing hard objects. Now, if you do read the Chapter 18, you'll see that snowballs are included as hard objects. All right, moving onwards. And as I pointed out earlier too, Chancellor Santiago has repeatedly stressed the violent acts that took place on that day as well. We're going to look at footage again to help you come to your own conclusions, and we are also going to have a number of people read their own eyewitness accounts of what happened that day too. Another thing that I want to point out to y'all is in Chapter 17 that Chancellor Santiago cited under student non-academic disciplinary procedures. At the end of the policy statement, it explicitly says, "Nothing in this chapter is intended to restrict students' constitutional rights, including rights to freedom of speech or to peaceably assemble with others." Now, I ask that everyone gathered here tonight keep these constitutional rights in mind as you hear what people are saying and as you continue to view some of the primary footage from what happened that day. And I also encourage you all to consider these constitutional rights in regards to how we conduct ourselves here tonight as well. Now, given the ways in which the footage from Panther Vision has been used from March 4th, all right, so Panther Vision was filming everything that was going on that day, right? And this was also included in the chronology that I sent around. Well, Panther Vision distributed this footage to a number of local media outlets, and we contacted them asking if perhaps we could use this footage tonight. Well, we were informed that we could not. And Mike Zoromsky, who is the Senior Broadcast Journalism Lecturer in the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, actually said, and this is quoted, quote, "UWM Panther Vision is an independent news organization, and we have a written policy that we never give out raw footage to anyone other than our media trading partners for use in their newscasts. In the 12 years since I started Panther Vision, we have never strayed from that policy, whether the requester is the chancellor, a student, or a police officer. As journalists, we need to keep everyone at arm's length and report on the events as factually and objectively as humanly possible." Now, to the best of my knowledge, on this coming Monday, what Panther Vision is going to be doing is airing a piece in which our SA President, Jay Brice Smith, sat down with the Chief of Police, Marzone, and they watched the raw footage, but to my knowledge, this raw footage is still not going to be made accessible to the public. But luckily, we do in fact have plenty of video documentation from that day, and video documentation that is posted on YouTube, again, that you can access yourself. And I must stress again that the footage from Panther Vision has been used by various media outlets and oftentimes taken out of context.